So this is going to be one of those rare videos where I actually follow a script because normally I do not, but today I am because I got a lot to go over. And will I include it all in the video? Who knows? We'll see. Hi there, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Katie. I'm an artist, I do stuff and things, and this is my vlog channel. Subscribe if you want to be cool because it's cool. Briefly, in a lot of my videos, I mention the law of attraction and Abraham Hicks. I said I'd make a video going more in depth about it, so here we are. Okay, so I'm going to insert a timestamp right here if you want to just skip ahead to what exactly it is, but first I wanted to talk about my experience a little bit. Before I knew about this law, I thought that life was something that just happened to you. I thought that if I dropped something in the morning, like a toothbrush or my breakfast, that I was destined to have a bad day the rest of the day, that it was just a sign of bad luck. I would sort of just live every day like a surprise. I was focusing a lot on the bad stuff that could happen, imagining the worst scenarios for every situation. As you can imagine, it took forever to get ready in the morning. I was having a very hard time dealing with puberty and moving to a new school. Without getting into it too much further, let's just say that the thought process that I had around that time really had an impact on my life. But then one day, I decided that I wanted to try and make my life better. So I started doing that fake it till you make it saying. I wrote I am beautiful on the mirror because at the time I didn't believe that and I really wanted to. I was just looking up all kinds of ways to make myself feel better and have a better life experience. And I'm thinking that led to this one really weird day where I went to my grandparents' house. And I went down into the basement, and my grandma has this sewing room with this like big walk-in closet sort of deal. It's basically a small room within the room, and she has a bunch of bookshelves with knickknacks and books, all kinds of stuff all on it. It's like a little storage area, but for really cool stuff. So I went in there quite often because it was pretty cool, and you know, when I'm bored, it was a great time. There was this little finger piano thing that I like to play with. It was made out of a sardine can, and I thought it was really cool, and she had all these cool lighters and stuff. But anyway, so I went in there, and this day a book stuck out to me, which I did look at the books normally, but I never saw this book in my life in there. In general, never saw this book, and it was called The Secret. So I read the cover, and I remember thinking to myself that it was just what I needed. It was exactly what I was waiting for, and it kind of felt like it was like meant to be for me to find it that day. So I asked my grandma if I could borrow it, and she let me, and then I read it in, I feel like one sitting, maybe two. I don't know, it was pretty short. I remember that, because there were a lot of, the words were pretty big. The pages were not very big. While I was reading it, it confused the heck out of me. I was super confused. I couldn't wrap my head around the idea of the law of attraction that it was talking about. I felt like it was like on the tip of my tongue, but I couldn't quite get it. It had me a little bit overwhelmed and a little afraid of my own thoughts. I kind of just wanted to turn my brain off. My thoughts on this book now are that this book sucks and the movie is bad. It's just bad. I do not recommend reading it if you do not already know about the law of attraction. If you're very experienced in the law of attraction and you know what you're doing, then go for it. But otherwise, I think it's really overwhelming. Not a good resource for beginners. It kind of felt to me like it was just a gimmick to make money, which, you know, power to them. I don't blame them for that. But not a good resource. I will be mentioning quite a few more good resources throughout this video, and I will link some links in the description if you are interested in better resources. But anyway, yeah, that's how I got it. It came in my life, but so I knew that that book, there was something to that book and there was more for me to learn, but I just didn't know quite how to get there. And it kind of turned me off of that for a while because it scared me and confused me a little bit. So for a long time, I just went back to living my life like I had no control over it and having a bad time. So After years of not bothering with it and having a sort of bad life experience time, I had some good times, but you know, for the most part, it was out of control because I just thought that life happened to you, and that's not true. You make your life happen for you. But then I came across it again, sort of recently within the past, like, 4 years or something, 3 years, I don't know. 4 years, 3 years. For many, many years, I think since around the time that I discovered The Secret, like around that time, the book, I was seeing a therapist. Only recently have I stopped seeing her within the past year. I think I haven't seen her in over a year now, actually. But for a long time I was seeing a therapist, and she was telling me all kinds of law of attraction stuff, though she didn't call it that. I don't think that she thought that. I don't know if she knows about the law of attraction. She probably does. I don't know. But the things she was telling me to do obviously were working. She's a trained professional. She went to school for it. But they also are basically the same thing that the law of attraction is. Like she was saying, like, I control my thoughts, stuff like that, and being positive. All kinds of things. There'd be a whole nother video about my therapist's advice. She gave some good advice, but it kind of tied in with the law of attraction stuff. So I used to really like going to the thrift store when I was bored or sad. I can't now because of quarantine, so I haven't gone in a very long time now to a thrift store, but because of COVID. And I really like reading, so I like to go look at the book section because they have really cheap books, and a lot of the time they had really good books because, you know, people finish a book and they don't want to keep it sometimes, so they donate it. And I find a lot of really good books there. And this one time in particular, I came across a book called Life Loves You by Louise Hay and Robert Holden. I usually don't vibe with books that are cheesy looking like that one, but for some reason this day it was kind of calling out to me, and I felt like I needed to read it. I felt like it had something to offer me. And if it didn't, whatever, it was like 25 cents. I'll have to make another video about Louise Hay and this book, but I finished it really quickly and I loved this book. This book was great. It was pretty cheesy, but it was also really, really great. It really helped me through a particularly dark time in my life, where I just kind of didn't know where I was going, and I felt like I was kind of in a dead end. And so after I finished that book, I really wanted more resources because I was reading that one like every day, at night, I think, before bed, and it was making my mood real good. And so I needed something else. I needed more. And they mentioned that they had other books and stuff. So I looked up Louise Hay, and I found a bunch of YouTube videos where it was just her talking, and it's just a sound with like a picture or whatever. And she would do like seminars or just talking whatever things. And she would do some like meditations. And this was all free on YouTube, and I'm sure it's still there. But then this, of course, led me to videos about Abraham Hicks, which I will go into more in a second. I want to tell you now what the law of attraction even is before I get too further in this video. I'm sure you guys have a good idea of what it is by now, but just in case, I will explain it to you. To put it simply, the law of attraction is attracting whatever we focus on into our lives. All thoughts turn to things eventually. The law uses the power of the mind to translate whatever we think about and materialize it into our reality. So yes, if you focus on negative thoughts, you will remain under that cloud and have more negative thoughts. It's kind of a difficult cycle to get out of. And if you focus on positive thoughts and things that you want to achieve, then you will find ways to achieve them, and thus you will achieve them. This applies universally to basically anything, whether it be health, money, objects, relationships, ambitions. The law of attraction does not discriminate. Whether we're doing it consciously or not, every second we're acting as human magnets, sending out our thoughts and emotions and attracting back more of those thoughts and emotions. Once you understand all of this, it's no longer a secret, and you can use it in your life, and you can use it consciously. Your entire future is yours to create. I feel really cheesy right now. So that's a good synopsis of that. So now I'm going to do just a brief history, little history lesson here on the law of attraction real quick. So the entire thing, it's not a new concept. It was first thought to be taught to a man by the immortal Buddha hundreds of years ago. It's believed that he wanted it to be known that what you become is what you have thought, which is the essential belief in the law of attraction. Then when the concept spread to Western culture, they called it karma, which I'm sure you've heard of. You know, what goes around comes around, which is essentially the same thing as the law of attraction too. And another example of the law of attraction not being a new concept is in the Proverbs 23:7, which read, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Law of attraction can be found all throughout history, all taught in different ways, but still there nonetheless. And there's also science to back it up. Quantum physicists recently helped shine a light on the effects that our thoughts have on our lives and the universe in general. There are studies that show thoughts of worry and fear have caused people to be sick, whereas positive thoughts of being healthy can help keep people healthy. And this can also be proved by the placebo effect. People are given a fake pill and told that it's a real pill and that it's supposed to make them feel better. And then it ends up making them feel better because they believe that they're supposed to be feeling better. And this shows that thoughts really can make you feel better. There are critics that say that all the evidence that support the law of attraction are based on stories, which isn't enough to disregard the power that it claims to have in general. Even with little other evidence, if you simply change your thought process and attitude, that'll have a greater value than not doing it at all. Especially when it could physically benefit you. I think it's worth it. It's worth a shot. And so now we're going to get into Abraham Hicks for a second. Finally. So there's a woman named Esther Hicks, which I'll talk about in another video for the sake of time, just like Louise Hay. But she came up with the term Abraham because she felt that it was biblical, and she felt that it described it perfectly. Abraham, in her own words, is a group consciousness from the non-physical dimension or an infinite intelligence that connects us all with the universe's energy flow. So Abraham, or this infinite intelligence, as she said, speaks through Esther. I think she just sort of gets in this positive mindset and then speaks what she feels that she should speak in that moment out of pure positivity. But she apparently sort of like allows it to speak through her in order to help people to improve their lives and use the practices that she teaches. So according to the teachings of Abraham, for example, joy is the purpose of life. Anything we can imagine can be brought into reality. We choose our emotions and we have everlasting life. A big thing I want to mention that I learned from listening to Esther's seminars, these are also on YouTube, just like I mentioned about Louise Hay. There's some of her actually like a video, you can see her and everything, but then there's most of them are no sound. Most of them are no video and it's just sound with like a picture. But a big thing I want to mention that I learned is that if you go to bed feeling one way, everything just kind of gets put on pause. And when you wake up, you're going to end up feeling some residual after effects from that feeling when you went to bed. So you don't manifest things while you're sleeping. And I'm really glad that is a thing, because could you imagine all the nightmares being manifested? No, thank you. So everything kind of goes on pause when you go to sleep, and then when you wake up, it's kind of like you hit play. So I try, and you should try, to at least go to bed feeling neutral so you can wake up feeling kind of neutral and then bring good emotions to yourself and start off your day on the right foot. So you want to start your day off on a good note. Mourning is very important. I'll talk more about this in another video, but until then, there is more information on the Abraham Hicks website, which is in the description. So, I mean, overall, I believe in the law of attraction, which it is a law, like gravity. So this isn't like just a belief or anything. But I believe in it because I've genuinely seen it help me personally. I've seen it work. If there's a better explanation later on, I'm a pretty open-minded person, so be it. But for now, that's the best explanation that I have. As far as Esther and Abraham goes, though, I have a little bit of mixed feelings. I mean, I don't know Esther personally. She seems like a really nice lady. I've never actually been to one of her seminars. I just listened to them on YouTube. I do know some people that have, though. And we all agree that she seems like genuinely a really good person. The whole sort of possession sort of thing is a little weird, but I interpret it kind of differently. I just think that she's being open-minded and she's just in a good state of positivity, and she just calls it Abraham when she's in that state of emotions. She calls it being on your high-flying disc. I'm the sort of person that kind of listens to the general message of things and interprets it in my own way. So, you know, everybody else can believe what they want to believe, and then I can continue living my life the way that I want to live it, but I still get the good advice that they're giving me. So, I mean, I do listen to her seminars to make myself feel better and everything, and I genuinely listen to what she's saying, but I do tell everybody that I refer to these videos to just have an open mind and sort of interpret things generally, which is also something she says. Listen to what she's saying. There's truth to it. All you have to do is replace the words that she uses with the things that you believe. So if you believe in a God and she says source, just replace in your head source with God. Or, you know, if you don't, then you just keep it as the universe or source. Whatever you believe in works. I don't think that she is specifically saying that it's a certain religion or anything, and she's not really pushing her beliefs onto anyone. I don't personally know if she's religious or her religion or anything. I think she says source and universe to keep it general so that everybody can relate to it and apply it to their own lives. So I just listen to things and kind of use her seminars as a template and insert your beliefs into the things that she's saying. And then you can understand it and apply it to your life in the way that you need it to. The law of attraction is very much not a religious thing at all. It can be applied to any religion. It's a law, much like gravity. It is a thing that happens no matter what. So you can continue to believe whatever you believe while simultaneously taking the law into consideration when you go about your day. Okay, so the video's not too long. We're at the end now. So this is going to be the TLDR, too long didn't read, section of the video. So, too long didn't read. The Secret sucks. Don't read it unless you are curious and want to. It's not a good source. You should read Life Loves You by Louise Hay and Robert Holden. All thoughts may turn to things eventually. It's not a new concept. It can be found throughout history. There's science to back it up. Listen to the Abraham Hicks seminars to keep up your positivity or to navigate tough situations. I like to listen to them before bed or as I fall asleep. Go to bed happy or at least neutral. Esther Hicks is a little weird, but we love her anyway. And religion has nothing to do with the law of attraction. Hopefully I did an okay job explaining all of that. I did cover quite a bit here. So if you have any questions or would like to talk about something that I did not mention here, please do leave a comment below. I read and answer all of them. Also, feel free to introduce yourself in the comments. Let's be friends. I will be making more videos on this subject, so make sure you subscribe and hit the little bell thing so you don't miss any of my future videos. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in my next video. I post every Thursday or Friday on this channel. So that's the law of attraction. Thanks for watching. Bye.